Take away the names past and future if that helps you think of this concept. So what if the past influences the future, and the future influences the past, in an endless feedback loop? So then, the question is, which part of the past is influencing which part of the future, and vice versa? And the answer is, all time is affecting all time, all the time.
Hi, I need a drink.
Is this even possible? Can me 20 years from now influence me now, just as I
kind of goods.
influence her?
I'm sure a smart seller like you can figure out what.
So can me 5 minutes from now influence me 10 minutes ago, just as me 10 minutes ago influences me as a baby, just as me as a baby influences me on my deathbed? This is too weird to even grasp. But everything we know says this is the way it is. Am I stoned? Okay, so if every moment is co-creating every other moment, both forward and backward in time, then reality would be this massive neural network spanning space and time. This type of network would have one even way stranger quality than anything we've talked about so far. It would be its own creator. But the fact that all time exists all the time does not mean that the future is written in stone, and we're some kind of programmed animation or something. That's what they used to believe, though. Years ago, it was popular to believe in the somewhat bummer idea of reality being a deterministic program playing itself out.
Light is scattered by electrons and bounced off electrons.
The famous double-slit experiment ruled out determinism. Look it up if you've never heard of it. It's wild and is one of the cornerstones of modern physics. But for now, take my word for it. It ruled out determinism and ushered in a new era of non-determinism, or basically, free will. So, how does free will work? One of the most surprising discoveries of quantum physics is that reality only exists when it is observed. That literally, particles do not exist until they are observed. Famous physicist John Wheeler, he's the guy who came up with the term black hole, says that reality is made of information, which is created by observation. The observation must be made, he says, by something conscious. And Nobel Prize winner Frank Wilczek said that quantum theory is contentious and obscure, and that it will remain that way until someone constructs, within the formalism of quantum mechanics, an observer, a model entity whose states correspond to a recognizable caricature of conscious awareness. An entity, an observer. So Frank Wilczek is basically talking about an entity, not necessarily a human being or an animal, that is capable of generating information by observing and measuring. But what would that conscious entity be? Well, we definitely know that consciousness exists in the universe. I mean, at least in us humans, right? I mean, I'm conscious, you're conscious, he's conscious, I think.
I'm conscious! I'm conscious!
Consciousness relates deeply to physics in ways not yet fully understood. In fact, consciousness is kind of like one of the least understood things in all of science. Nobody knows exactly what it is. Weird, right? So if reality is pure information, if everything, energy, matter, thought, if it's all information, then it becomes clear that reality deeply ties into consciousness in some way.
Is an
As if the fundamental stuff of reality is somehow consciousness. Did consciousness and information somehow emerge in a causality feedback loop? German physicist Werner Heisenberg developed the first equations of quantum mechanics using a type of math called matrix theory. He deduced that space and time were pixelated into indivisible three-dimensional Planck length units, just like the two-dimensional pixels on your computer screen.
It's good to be made of pixels.
The mathematics indicated this.
Mathematics.
Of course.
I love
But every
mathematics.
race, every creed belongs
And pizza.
under the guild hall.
Oh, I love pizza. Especially pixelated pizza.
And interestingly, there was no solid
Then
experimental
let me be the
evidence
first
for
to
smooth,
officially welcome
in other
you
words,
as an
not
associate
pixelated
of the Fighters
space-time.
Guild. Get out there
Pizza.
and take the fight to the day job.
We are not pixelated.
Not pixelated.
Yes, you are, morons.
Your mother is pixelated.
This is smooth.
There is no evidence of that. And the mathematics show it is pixelated, so it must be pixelated.
Oh, that's interesting. Bullshit.
It must be pixelated.
Bullshit, 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 bullshit.
On the other hand, most scientists agree that a length can be no shorter than the Planck length, which suggests reality is pixelated.
There is no length shorter than the Planck length.
That means reality is pixelated.
I'm not pixelated! I'm not!
Dude, you're kind of being a little like one of those people who deny evolution because they can't handle the fact their ancestors were monkeys. Are you a monkey? Huh? Are you a little monkey?
We believe that until a quantum gravity theory of pixelated spacetime is discovered, the issue will remain confusing for everyone.
This is
What
bad.
type of
You look
geometric
well-traveled,
code would
friend.
describe a
Are you, by
pixelated
chance,
reality?
going to Sadrith Moor? Opportunity.
80 years of smashing
that's what I
particles
thought,
together in
until I
particle
angered de
accelerators,
Vegfair
such
by
as the
failing to
famous
deliver
Large
the special
Hadron
mushrooms
Collider
he
in
ordered
Geneva,
on time.
have given us a
You aren't a
strange
fault
clue
for the late delivery.
that all
You're
the
saving
fundamental
my life
particles
here.
and forces
I don't
convert
dare
into one
refuse
another.
the order.
Like they literally
Someone who's helping me
transform
out
from
this
one
month
to the
should
other,
know.
according to a
Sadrith
process
Moor is
called
up on the
gauge
eastern
symmetry
coast, so you
transformation.
could walk
And
without
all of these
running.
conversions correspond to a
Sindar,
shape,
local navigator.
and not just
She
any
can
shape,
sail you up there
an
on the next trip.
8-dimensional shape.
That's how I was going to
Now
get
this
there
shape
until I missed
forms a
my
crystal.
delivery.
Now remember, crystals are periodic
No
patterns
clue,
of a
but
certain
Havani
shape,
Mage
like that
wants
checkerboard
them.
is a
I can only
2D
suppose they
crystal
have.
made up of squares. So this crystal is of a particular 8-dimensional shape, and this crystal is known as the E8 lattice. To generate that 3D quasi-crystal, the substructure
You must be here
of
about the job notice
pixelated
I posted.
fabric of reality,
Wonderful. I really can't
we
afford to
project
lose.
this
It's
8D
simple, really.
crystal
I need you to get rid of that
4D.
horrid Nix ox so I can get back to my research.
then we
I also
convert
need you
that
to collect as
to
many
3D.
mushroom samples as possible.
Now,
the sooner the better.
just like the
This
basic
whole
cell
affair
shape
is
of the
so-
3D
Honestly,
cubic
what am I
lattice
not
is the
researching?
cube.
The
The cell
obvious-
shape
I have no
of
idea.
the E8
I'm
lattice
starting from.
is
I
an
usually find it
8D
best to make
shape
peace with
with 240 vertices. We call it the Gaussian polytope. When the Gaussian polytope is projected to 4D, it becomes two identical shapes of different sizes. The ratio of their sizes is a unique number, 0.618, also known as the golden ratio. The golden ratio may be the fundamental constant of nature. It is a ratio that is fundamental to circumscribed equilateral triangles, and it's weirdly ubiquitous in the universe, appearing everywhere from the quantum to celestial scales. Ever so interestingly, it appears in black holes.
I don't want to fly into a black hole! I wish I never realized your existence!
Okay, let's get serious for a second. Here are 3 quick facts for you science heads. The golden ratio is the precise point where a black hole's modified specific heat changes from positive to negative. And it is part of the equation for the lower bound on black hole entropy. The golden ratio even relates the loop quantum gravity parameter to black hole entropy. Why does this support the claim that the golden ratio is the fundamental constant of nature? Because a theory of everything must unite general relativity with quantum mechanics. And a black hole is where these two theories converge at their limits. Okay, so bear with me through some really weird math right now, and I'll reward you with some amazing footage of John Malkovich getting a pie in the face. There's a type of mathematics called matrix mathematics. No,
You
not that
have
type of
a
matrix.
look about you. Some sort of quality that's swear. And trust me, I never wrong about these sort of things.
Matrix math is the type of math
interest you in a
that
room
quantum
with the
physics
local
uses in its formulas.
Actually, wait, that came out
Without getting too technical, this is an
Look,
example of a matrix.
empty rooms are just
a
bad
matrix
for
is just a group of
business.
numbers
The
that are
upkeep alone
arranged in
costs me
columns
more
and
than the
rows.
place is worth.
And there's a certain amount
But
of
I think we can
combinations
come to
for
a
these
sort of
numbers
arrangement,
inside the matrix.
and not the sort
like
of
if a
arrangement
matrix
that
has
involves a
4
few
numbers
drinks. Let me
inside
be
it,
clear about
there
that.
are 24 different possible combinations for those 4 numbers.
I need
Quantum
someone
mechanics
to improve
uses
the
matrices that are
reputation of my
binary,
properties.
so they only contain
A hero
various
type who
combinations
people
of
look
2
up to.
numbers. Each of
Yeah,
these
all
combinations
right,
of numbers
details.
has a value.
I
It's
can see
called
how this
an
might be a bit
eigenvalue.
sketchy, but don't
Some
worry.
eigenvalues
The
are
in-room
called
is
trivial.
well-kept,
These are
conveniently
values like
located.
1, 2,
I know
and
you
0.
adventuring
And
types
some
wanting
are
a home
called
in every
non-trivial.
town.
And
This would be
those
a nice
are all
addition to
sorts
your
of more
home.
complex-looking
No
numbers.
catch.
So,
I just need
here's
someone
the
to
interesting
freshen
part.
up my image. And my gut
Was that
tells me
interesting?
you're the one. Oh, sure.
Oh, yes, here.
You can
The
set up
highest
some crafting
probability
stations,
non-trivial
house your
eigenvalues
pets,
that
display
show up
any
in binary
treasures or
matrices
trophies
are,
you've come upon in
ready
your
for this?
adventures. Hey, you can
The
even set up a
golden
target
ratio
dummy to practice
and minus
combat.
1 over the
Just
golden
don't demolish
ratio.
the place and we're
So
good.
we now see a deep link
Excellent.
between black
You
holes
won't
and
regret this
quantum
decision,
mechanics
I
because the
swear.
golden ratio
Here's the
appears
deed
deeply in
and
both
key to
black
the
hole
room.
physics and
Took me a
in
while,
quantum
but I
mechanics.
finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation,
Good
I'm
job bearing
sure
with me.
you shouldn't have
So,
any
here's your
trouble with
reward.
the neighbors.
John
If you
Malkovich
do,
getting a pie in
remember
the face.
death
Nope,
threats are not the way to go.
No.
Get us
I'm not John
trouble when I
Malkovich.
left. Nope, just make yourself at home.
The golden ratio
Spruce
appears
things
to
up a bit.
startling accuracies
Honestly, I
in
can't
many other
wait
ways
to see
throughout
how
the
you arrange
universe,
the
in
place.
scales both large
Hopefully
and small.
you'll end up with a
It is
few
so
less
prevalent
Daedric
that its
shrines
existence
than
simply
another
cannot
former
be looked
tenant
at
of
as
mine.
coincidental.
Like 0.
In the past, the appearance of
Zero's
this
a good
ratio
number.
has usually been ignored by scientists because they had no way to explain it. So interest in it was considered the stuff of amateur scientists.
Oh, what a relief.
But now,
I
for the
can't
first
tell
time,
you how hard it is
a
to wash
rigorous
bloodstains
quantum
off
gravity
of cobbled
theory is
floors.
being developed,
But that's not
which
even the worst of
predicts
it.
the golden
I've had
ratio's
tenants
existence
cram their rooms with a
literally
wild. I own
everywhere.
this and several other properties
So
throughout
what would
town.
a theory of everything look like that answers these 7 clues we just presented? Information, causality loops, non-determinism, consciousness, pixelation, E8 crystal, and the golden ratio.
So we think reality is a mosaic-like code or language at the smallest scale of reality possible, which is called the Planck length. Particle accelerator data tells us that all particles and forces relate to one another according to a higher dimensional crystal called the E8 lattice. But reality appears to be 3D. So we project a slice of this E8 crystal down to 3D, which produces a quasi-crystal code or language. And that allows these geometric symbols to build up to the ordinary world of particles and forces that we see around us. Now, this geometric language has rules, but it also has syntactical freedom like any language. And that requires some notion of a chooser to choose the free steps in the language. Now, the notion of randomness doesn't work so well when it comes to codes because meaning starts to break down. Besides, there's no decent experimental evidence for randomness in nature in the first place. A universal collective consciousness is one answer, but that sounds new age and religious. Now, nowadays, a good number of physicists discuss the idea that our whole universe is actually a code-based simulation in some fantastically powerful quantum computer in another universe. Now, if true, then by the same logic, that other universe where the computer running the simulation of our universe is would also supposedly be a simulation in another universe. So the idea is a little shaky, but it's being discussed seriously by a lot of credible people. But it turns out that a universal collective-like consciousness of some sort may be physically inevitable. Now, we don't need to anthropomorphize this idea or make it religious or spiritual. To follow why, let us start with the idea of the collective behavior of cells in your body, each a single-celled microbe living its life. A long time ago, only this sort of cellular life form existed here on Earth. These little guys were not too smart, but they did choose what direction to swim and could chase nutrients, reproduce, and run from dangerous things. They made
Greetings.
choices with their very simple systems of environmental awareness and desire to survive. Then they self-organized into colonies that were smarter as a group and had more environmental awareness than the individuals. Eventually, animals such as humans emerged. Sophisticated forms of awareness and consciousness now float on an ocean of 37 trillion living cells, self-organized as a human being. It is specifically the laws of physics that caused electrons and quarks to self-organize into 81 stable atoms, and from there, into human consciousness. And physics places no upper limit on the amount of energy and matter that can self-organize into conscious systems.
Physics allows the possibility of all the energy in the universe to eventually convert into a single conscious system that is itself a network of other conscious systems, a massive, technologically based collective consciousness. Given enough time, anything that can happen will eventually happen. By this axiom, this system of universal consciousness has already emerged somewhere in the frames of space-time ahead of us. Because it is possible, it is inevitable. In fact, according to the evidence of retrocausality time loops, that inevitable future is co-creating
By
us
the three,
right now.
I've never seen
Just
the
as we
mountain so active.
are co-creating
And
it.
Bar Dow. We're headed to Sadrath Mora, if that's when...
Mind your step. I would not want you to step on this random patch of grass. I jest, of course. The Telvanni force me to work, but I make sure it brings them no pleasure. I see you. In truth, you would be helping many Saxleo, myself included. During my latest escape attempt, I met an amber beauty with eyes. Seek her out in Tel Naga. If I know my heart, she will be sunning herself in the light of some book. Or walk with Sithis, my friend, and mind...
Oh, dear Tyr. Ah, love. How cruel the fate... Oh, what does an outlander know about the complexities of Dunmerry love? Of course not. Tywin is a slave. My mother's slave. I don't expect you to pay, obviously. It's just... Tell her you've heard Tywin excels at finding Red Star shells. Telvanni wizards prize them, and they're very rare. Most of the locals know that Tywin... I couldn't bear gazing upon Tywin since Mother rebuked me.
Lazy vermin. If you want to eat this week, work.
Yes, mistress.
Well, get to it. Now!
Yes, mistress. Sorry, mistress.
Pardon the mess. My slaves require another lesson concerning... Have my friends been... Well, I need someone who can do that too, and I... Baseless slander! Though I do tire of these ugly rumors surrounding my son. 3 red star shells. That's the smallest offer I'll entertain. A bargain.
Oh, Tywin, where are you? What I'd give for just a glimpse. Well, did you speak to my mother? What did she say? 3? 3? That's as many as No. If Mother found out, she'd never let Tywin go free. Not for any I've been training a Nyx hound to help Tywin so she can spend more time with me instead of in that vile swamp. She's around here somewhere. Nyx hound's van. Come on, Nyxie, show yourself! There you are. Nyxie, Go find star shells. Show this nice person where they are.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop! Who are you? These are given lands, you know. He sent you here. To what, spy on me? Because this is the one place I'm permitted to go that he's too afraid to love. I'm a slave and he's my master, or as close as makes no difference. Gods, no. Fear of his mother's wrath is... Faris keeps my servitude obligation hidden in a house. I don't want to be bought. I want to be...
You're back! Did Nixie pull? You did? Isn't she beautiful? And so smart? Ha! What? Oh, she's fooled you. She fools everyone, you know. These feelings have to be our little secret under Mother's roof. But soon, we won't have to hide them. I just need you to take those shells to Mother, and it will all become clear. You'll see. You're serious? I can't believe it. Tywin loves me! It's you. You made yourself perfectly clear the first time.
This place has been violated for the last time.
This is your last chance to leave before the guard arrives. The guard's on their way. Best get out before they clear you out. The guard's on their way. Best get out before they clear you out.
See, you're leaving the estate. You decided not to help me, didn't you? I knew I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. You really did it. You... What's the catch? What do you expect for this? I don't know what... I'll need it. You didn't ask for anything, but I want you to have this. Just the gold I managed to hide away over the years, minus what I'll need for passage.
Hey! Get away from her! You will ruin everything!
Shut up, you slavering jackal. You see this? I'm free.
Tywin, I was supposed to free you. I was going to take your hand in marriage. It was going to be perfect. You ruined it!
Listen to me, you little swit. I'm not your plaything, never was, and never will be. I'd sooner lie with the maggots than share your bed.
That can be arranged! When I tell Mother about this, you'll wish you'd never spurned me! You'll beg! You will beg!
That was liberating. Don't worry, I know these lands better than they ever will. Thanks again.
Brave little scrib with a heart so pure, always in search of adventure. She says, maybe tomorrow, he says if you insist, but that treasure you'll miss. Play, play, life's an adventure, run, run, as fast as you dare. Sing, sing, imagine the pleasure. Salt fetcher! You probably don't even have the gold, but I have to give you a chance to pay your bounty. Fine. Now get your stink away from me.
Yes. Can I help you, Suryo? Bless his eyes. Yes. She's a recently elevated Telvanni Magister. Not so... I'm afraid not. I traded... Be cautious in the council house, Sarah. House...
Never work in Vardenfell again.
I'm terribly sorry, Master. It won't happen again.
Ah, another useful idiot approaches. And what trifling matter brings you to me? I trust you're not here to waste my time. So Edrino finally came through. If you're lying, you do so. And that concludes my deliveries for today. What an exciting life I lead.
And who might you be? Master Erevan is away on business. Has been. No one just wanders into... Ah, the one about Zane Tiraris, is it? Well, I could... It's a matter of literature, or lack thereof. I wrote a poem. She spends most of her time in the study, here in the council hall. She's very... I hope this is good news. Well? Did you... Quick! Give it here! Phew, what a... Good riddance to bad writing.
There you are. I was afraid. May I? Ah, a saint's rest. Looks like the shrine is locked, protected by some puzzle wall. Somewhere between certain and... Run? Telvan.
Sleeps like a giant of towers.
one moment. Let me finish this thought. What's this? The nearby Drelath tomb, of course. My employer. I am the personal assistant. You'll check on Narcissus? How
Not so loud. That creature in the next chamber is a tricky one. You must be my new apprentice. Well, let's start the lesson, shall we? Can you smell it? Assistant? She did she? It's a sneaky one. I knew there was nothing to worry about. Now lead on, my stalwart companion. This tomb won't explore itself. This isn't what I expected. It's rather small. This isn't something more interesting than a... Are you questioning my expert? Let me see. This squiggle means tomb. Oh, wait. That's V, not D. Veloth tomb. Ooh, what's this button do? Deal with that, will you? Then talk to Elfbet outside!
Narcissus shot out of that tomb so fast. Narcissus shot out of that. He did. And he took You better get moving if you're going to help my Narcissus. Veloth tomb is...
I did not want to call the guards, but you forced my hand.
Guards, come quick! A trespasser!
Guard! Intruder!
You're
Guard!
pathetic. Barely worth the guard's time. The guards will hear of this.
Halt! Damn you!
Halt, fetcher!
It's about bloody time, you buoyant artists. Just one frustration after another. It's about... First, my assistants from the Mages Guild disappeared without so much as a by your leave. Then we were exploring the ball fell. I blame the investigator Vale.
I don't want to go back. No, the overbearing... Spiders, yes! Stibbins?
I dare say, help! Help! Lucifer, stand up. That horrific spider. It is.
No! I won't let the spiders. Why do you think? The spiders. They call to me. I will join the dance.
Good. You found Stibbins. Probably just got turned around in the ruins again. So tell me, what did you discover? A talking spider? Why not? Interesting. She heard talking spider?
I beg Milady's pardon. I really thought I could solve the case of the missing mages.
Ugh, whatever gave you that idea? You can barely manage not to lose my collection of combs and brushes every time you pack them.
A spider. I'm still conscious?
My tea worked! Head for the ruins and find the spider that talked to you, Stibbins.
As you command, milady. Another spider! And it's talking to me.
Follow my manservant.
Aha! You brought friends to the dance!
Well, what do we have? Now, this is intriguing. Alchemy from the looks of the notes in this journal. The journal... Follow me, brave assistant. I was right. It is some kind of Daedric ritual led by a hulking Nord priest. Brave assistant, do something!
Come to join our dance?
Stop dancing this instant.
Dance! Dance! Shake your netters for the mad god! No! The dance must not be interrupted!
Why do my feet hurt? Oh, never mind. Run!
Naturally, we will be reducing your compensation accordingly. As much as a good run from a daydream. I suppose. No need to worry. I appreciate your help and your concern, but what possible harm could glancing at a few dusty scrolls cause? Here, for your trouble. I seem to have some extra gold. more I consider the I appreciate. Stibbins, I have something I'd like you to read.
What's this? The newest investigative veil mystery?
Just read it out loud and tell me what it says.
Ooh, a read aloud. What fun.
Just enunciate, Stibbins, and speak loudly. Anytime now, Stibbins.
This isn't the newest investigative veil mystery.
Read the scroll, Stibbins!
Something, mad god flows and ebbs. Something. Call forth the tangled webs. No, that doesn't sound good.
Ugh, really, Stibbins? You do manage to complicate the simplest tasks. Stibbins has a way of dropping a fetch.
The door is open! Open at last! Hee hee hee!
Excellent. Another clumsy sun in shadow. Do you now? Oh, good. There, that should be sufficient. Now, take that writ and be off. I have a relic to study.
Stop right there! The tribunal frowns on those who disrupt order. Go, and turn away from your error.
Do you need something? Oh, feel free to wait. I'll give this to the council.
I've imagined this moment. They'll deliberate. Yes, of course. I mean, truly, I couldn't have done this without you and...
Well, well. What brings a slave to our audience chamber?
I bring tidings from my august patron, Magister Thorana. She would have your masters know that this slave, Sun in Shadow, has earned her favor.
What? Magister Thorana would lend her good name to this... thing? Preposterous.
Relasa, don't be as tiresome as your master.
Can we move?